Um. Okay, whereabouts are you? Okay. Anyway, starting the stream. Okay. I'm gonna help Thomas or High Gaming with his build, I think. I don't know where he is. Okay, there, I think. Okay, I'm gonna fly down to him. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm doing this for your benefit, so that way you can see exactly what I do for building this particular ship, okay? And its purpose is to get you started. Okay, so it's basically going to be like the respawn ship with a drill and stuff like that. That's alright. The delay doesn't matter. It's going to delay a little bit, so anyway, I'm flying over to that GPS marker that you sent me. So, yeah, things will take a little bit of time. Obviously to get there. And what we'll do is I'll attach it to my ship, or I'll build it off of my ship using all of the ship's resources, and we'll be moving through space so that way we don't get raided. And then I'll drop you somewhere where there are resources and materials, if you want, or wherever you want to go. You won't be able to take, or you could take the ship down to the planet if you want to, but it's probably not the best idea. I would stay in space and learn how to fly in space and mine in space and get used to it, if that makes sense. And this is just a starter ship, but it'll get you going, so it'll have a drill and all that other good stuff on there. Like, if you want to grind down your other base later, that's fine, or do whatever you want to do with it. Like, that's no big deal. But yeah, like, and yeah, try not to crash this one. But the point is, alright, well, yeah, like, if you are just flying around this planet, as long as you keep moving, as soon as those unknown signals pop up, you just want to move away from it, like, at a decent speed. Otherwise, they're going to find you, and they'll, like, raid you. So, I'm about 8 k's away now. Well, it's not a matter of whether or not it's fast or slow. It's more a matter of whether or not it's going to do the job you want it to do. So, like, and the point is to make something that you can expand on. It's a very simple ship. It's not much different to the drop pod. but the point is to show you how it works, so that way you can put it all together yourself later on and whatnot. So I made a similar one, or the same sort of thing for somebody a couple of days ago. So okay, just wait till I slow down, otherwise you're gonna get killed. Okay, I've put a seat behind my cockpit next to the reactor. Like, it's a little bit back. It's right here, next to the cryopod. Can you get into the seat? What are you doing? Alright. Now, just make sure that you... Okay, so if you get out of the seat now, can you move around the ship? Because I'm going to have the ship traveling. It's like we're going to be constantly moving, so that way people won't be able to find us too easily. Alright, now we'll go to the back. That's the front. And I'm going to build it off of here, so... Oh, it's bouncing around. This is going to be a pain. It's going to annoy me. Oh, I'm gonna have to relog. Just give me a minute. It was glitching out a little bit. And it will do my head in. Well, the other alternative is we can build it on an asteroid. That might be an easier way and quicker way. Well, less headachy way. And once it's finished, I'll transfer it over to you. Yeah, glitch is fixed. Alright, so first things first. Now that everything stopped bouncing around, I'm going to start laying out actually don't need to come out that far. Alright, how you do it? Where are you? Okay, yep, how you do it, right, is like no matter where you are, you stick it out, like you make yourself a little platform, alright? It's something to set yourself up on to start with, right? And then you need a refinery and you need all those other things, the basic refinery, basic assembler, right? And this is just to get you started, so bear that in mind. Okay, so we chuck down the basic assembler. We'll chuck down a cargo container. Oops, that's not a cargo container. What are you doing? Don't place blocks. You can weld blocks, but don't place blocks, okay? Because otherwise you'll mess it up. No, don't place blocks, okay? And I've lost my bloody tools for some reason. Did you take my tools, or... Okay, so now an assembler. It's alright, I've got my tools. I was in the wrong bloody thing. So, anyway. So, you put the assembler, say, there. Put the O2H2 the O2H2 generator is going to need to go on next. You can weld these up if you want to. Like all of these blocks here. We'll stick the O2H2 gen straight there because it just makes things easier. So yeah, grab parts, start welding. Can you get parts out of the ship? What's going on with it? Something's glitching out again. Okay, you gotta go to the cargo container if you want to pull parts out. The reason why I'm loading them up is so that way I can see where I'm at, because otherwise I'll get lost and we'll end up with something that doesn't work, and that will be no good for anybody. We'll probably need to make changes as we go along, like take stuff out or whatever, but yeah, we'll just see how we go. Right, so all the basic stuff that you need, right? Now, if you were building this on a planet, you just extend it down like one or a couple of blocks out of the ground and then build your little platform like that. And that way as well, you can build all the stuff you need for underneath. Now, something else I would do, like obviously you're going to have to find cobalt and all that other stuff that you need for starting out. I need interior plates. we'll stick another cargo container there. So that way you've got 3 cargo containers. This is different to the way that I did it last time as well. But it should be reasonably effective for what you want to do, which is you want to fly around and do stuff. So we'll chuck a large hydrogen tank on here. Stick it anywhere is fine, I guess. Actually, let's go simpler than that, right? We won't bother with, because as long as you stay in space, you don't try to go down to the planet, you'll be fine. And you may as well grab a large cargo container. You won't stuff around with the small stuff. Okay, so what we'll do instead is we'll go for a large cargo container. Just chuck that on here. And a large hydrogen tank. This is not quite the starter build. Okay, you can weld those things up. Whoops. Okay, we'll put hydrogen engine on, a big hydrogen engine on the back. Oh, what else are we going to need? We're going to need an oxygen tank. So chuck that up the middle, I think. Yep. I will chuck a hydrogen engine here. Chuck a container here. And an oxygen tank here. That's why I couldn't pick stuff out. That was the one with the sorter on it.
Energy low.
Sorry. $25 Gs. What do you mean 25 Gs? I have no idea what you're talking about at the moment. You need to explain it.
Energy critical.
Well, I'll do what I can. It will work as well as you pilot it. Like, the idea is you can get started with this and build up to something else. Like, you can make it go down to the planet if you want to. I need to... I'll leave that for now. Bugger it. Need batteries, that's the other thing I've forgotten to put on. It's got an O2H2 generator and it's got an oxygen tank on it. So chuck batteries here. Chuck 4 batteries on it because why not? Build plan is full. Crap. Okay, I'm gonna want some ion thrusters, so I'm going to put them on production now. Just want small ones, so that way we can move it about. It's taking ages. Sorry, what was that? Thomas? I missed it. Alright. Now, stick a cockpit on. If I can find where I put them. I need steel plate. Chuck a gyro on and put a survival kit on. And this is going to be like a space miner for you, alright? Get you started, mine up stuff, and expand this ship. Try not to crash it, sort of thing, and build up a base ship like this. I did something very, very similar to this with this one. So, does that make sense? What do you mean, why do you need power in O2? So you can recharge your jetpack. As well as, I'll put a hydrogen thruster on here as well, but I'm going to put the ion thrusters on too, so that way you can still move around if you run out of hydrogen, so long as your batteries don't go flat. You've got a hydrogen engine on the bottom there. So, like, if you always make sure you put ice, and if you run out of the hydrogen, then you will still have the batteries for a little while, and you can find, like, yeah, you just have to be careful Oh, okay. Oh, did you? Yeah, I haven't got the survival kit on share with the faction because of the security issue at the moment. If I do share it and there is somebody who's going to try to raid us, they will spawn here. So I'd really rather not do that. But I'll share this cockpit. Actually, no, I won't because I can control my ship from it. That's not a good idea. Oh no! Those batteries just went away. Can you grind these batteries down? And those ones over there, they just took off. I don't need the parts, I just want to grind the grids down. There, bugger it. Well, it's a good thing I saw that when we did. Alright. Add the batteries back on. I thought that was connected. It said it was connected. If you run out of power, jump back in that seat. And I'll get you an oxygen and hydrogen bottle. Thomas, in the seat, there's an oxygen bottle and a hydrogen bottle as well. So. Actually grab more thrusters. Make another 10. Yep. Alright. Okay, I'll leave just the ion thrusters on here, so that way you can, if you want to, however you want to extend the ship, or change it however you want, one of the better bets is to, yeah, I'm just going to leave it simple for you, and let you change it however you want to change it. So if you want to add a refinery, a large refinery to the back of it, or you want to put a full assembler on it and all that other stuff, if you leave it parked up in space and you leave a GPS marker where you parked it so you can find it later, as long as you don't have any of those unknown signals nearby when you park it up, it should stay safe. Like parked on an asteroid or something like that. We'll chuck a landing gear on it as well so you can park it there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like we'll just leave it parked on an asteroid near here, and you can fly down in your suit and grind up your base if you want to, or move your other stuff over to it, but this will just get you started. Does that make sense? It's meant to be simple. just all the basics and that, like that way. And if you you leave it in space, you won't crash and you won't like come to grief that way. Or the other thing as well, like, you know, you need to learn how to fly it and whatnot. Space is going to be a little bit easier for you. Just go slow. So you don't need to start off like going full tilt. Oh, what? Oh, I still need sideways thrusters as well.
Energy low.
Okay, I'll also chuck a solar panel on here for you, so that way if you do come to grief, you're not going to be completely up the creek. Where should we put that? Put it. I'll chuck it here. put docking connector on the ship somewhere. Haven't really got anywhere practical to put it. I think there's as good a spot as any at the moment. It's not really been much of a tutorial build because I think I'm a little bit fried out with doing tutorials at the moment. And also you can't ask me questions like with your voice, you need a microphone. Has it been 30 minutes? Jeez. That's a while. Alright. Ready to cut it away now though. Now what I'll do is dock it. Set that to switch lock. Hydrogen tank. I'm filling up your hydrogen tank for you. So you shouldn't run it. You should be able to fly around with it as it is now for a long time. And what I'll get you to do is place a drill on the front of it, on the where the oxygen tank is. Like if you place a drill here, I can weld it up for you. I'll chuck some steel plate in the ship for you. Actually, I'll just transfer a bunch of parts and materials over to you. I'll put it in the cargo container of this ship. So that way you can build whatever you want. Okay, it's already grabbed some cobalt, like the refinery did. But anyway, large cargo container here, and we'll look for ingots. Alright. Hey, you've got a bunch of materials in here now. I'll transfer it to you. That was it, 98, 96. Wait. Don't go yet. There you go, accept the grids. Yep. Okay, the ship is now yours. Hop out for a sec. Or actually, just wait a minute, because I'll turn those gyros down. Don't move. Okay, try that. Try moving around now. Does it move? Yep, try moving now. See how it moves. Just jump out. What do you mean it says only me? Okay, now you can go and mine to your heart's content. There's asteroids all over the place. Oh, hang on. Before you run off or anything like that, or wherever you leave it, put a landing gear on the bottom of it. So if you land it on an asteroid and park it there, it's not going to float away. You can make all the parts from it. I've put a whole bunch of ingots in your ship. You've got a basic assembler, a basic refinery, so you can do everything from the start that you need to do with it. Is that all good? But yeah, don't take it down to the planet because you'll crash. Yeah, put a landing gear on the bottom. That lightning's crazy. Does it still say I'm the owner? Shouldn't do. No, it says built by Ego Thomas. So you're the owner of it now because you accepted all the blocks. So yeah, it's all yours. You happy with it? What do you think? Yeah, it does. That's because I transferred all the blocks to you. That's what it's supposed to say. That means it's your ship now. Now, with that, if you're careful, like, you can expand this into a big ship like this. Do you see how I've done this one? Right, if you come over to where I am. Oh yeah, I'll give you a hand welding that up. There you go, it's all done. Okay, come over to the big ship. Right? I started this ship with this little bit here. Like this platform and all of this stuff here. It's still got the basic refinery that I started with. There's the survival kit. And round the back here is the basic assembler. It's exactly the same design, and I've chucked the hydrogen engine on the side there, and then the batteries went there, and all the thrusters, like except for the downwards ones, they're all still on there. So, like, I built up this ship from something like very similar to this. So on the back here, you could add a refinery straight off the back, as well as your assemblers or whatever you want, and you can turn this into a mobile flying base. I don't know where you just went. Oh, there you are. Alright. So yeah, see how you go. And remember, stay away from the unknown signals. And make sure you don't lose it. Like, oh yeah, the other thing that you'll need. Place a cryopod on it somewhere. Place a cryopod over here on this bit. Come over here, Thomas. No, chuck a cryopod on it first, because I'll weld up the parts for you, because you won't have the materials for it. So that way you don't despawn from it when you're offline. So put the cryopod here on that cargo container. The one just underneath the cockpit. So I was trying to remember what I'd forgotten. So right there. You just need steel plate, and I'll weld up the rest for you. Where'd you go? All right. There you go. Now that's everything that you could need for a starter ship. So, yep, go and have some fun. Just don't crash it. Oh, blueprinted as well. So that way, if you do crash it, you can make it again, if you want to. I don't know where he went. What did I miss in the chat? Yeah. I'm not sure about the rest of the stream. Haven't really thought too much about it. Kind of at a loose end at the moment. I was thinking about calling it a night at the moment, but this ship needs to be rearranged. Need to make it a bit more battle ready. There is a player on the server, Mercy, who he raided our base and completely smashed it. So at the moment I'm contemplating how to go about changing the ship. Like, I've chucked some guns on there. It's not very well armored at the moment, but I just want it to be a little bit better defended. And I don't think that I'm going on the right track at the moment. There's a lot of stuff I've got to take off and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, probably need to get more ice, actually. But yeah, is there anything that you'd like to see done? That is probably a better question. I'm not really set up for PvP though. Oh, the other thing I was thinking of doing was getting the safe zone set up on this ship, so when I park it up, it doesn't get stolen again. So I'm going to make all the parts for that. Which is not that excessive. So yeah, when I park it up, when I've like finished for the day, I mean, I'll go hide it in an asteroid or something like that, and yeah. But yeah, if you would like to see something done, or you want to see me build something up or something like that, or you want me to explain a process or whatever, or I don't know, what would you like to see? Don't really need it at the moment. That's why it's not on there. It does need a lot more armor though. If it's gonna get into a fight, and it's not really an easy thing to do. Like the way the armor's on it at the moment is just a very sketchy job at the moment to try and soak up bullets and ablate before I get annihilated so I can get away. But at the moment, yeah, it's still just, I don't know. I got to learn how to PvP basically. Like if you have a look at like the ideas that I've got are like these engines here probably want to move out a little bit more. Like move the engine out to here, stick another row of hydrogen tanks over the top of these ones, so that way yeah, I can move them away and wrap the armor further forward, maybe extend it out a bit more, so that way you don't end up with gaps like this. This is a major weakness here, so even if I was to try to seal like the outside, if they can get in through gaps like this and get in here with a grinder and ruin my day. So yeah, I've only got 3 jump drives at the moment, so I can't go too far. I was going to put another bunch on this side, but yeah, this is just the build that I've been working on over the last couple of days since the base got raided. The ship that I had before was like, since I started this lot of streaming, was like the start of this series of streams was yeah, probably about 3 times the size of this, and plus I had a little gunship built up as well. But yeah, somebody got into the safe zone that I had and smashed it. So I don't know how he got into the safe zone. That was the Mercy guy that I was talking about before. So if I knew how he got into the safe zone, I would, yeah, do something about it. He reckons, like, yeah, we've been having a backwards and forwards sort of taunting sledging match sort of thing on in the chat. Yeah, it's been quite entertaining. I've found it quite funny. Because I don't care if he went and smashed my ship and stuff like that, because it gives me something to do. Now I've got an opponent to go up against. So, because it's all in this, well, you know, it's the spirit of the game. You know, it's meant to be, you know, I have an enemy now, so I need to figure out how to beat him. Like, it's on this particular server, there's no NPC enemies, so there's no, like, AI enabled, there's no modular encounter spawner. This is all 100% vanilla. So yeah, having an actual player that's like, he's been smashing everybody on the entire server except for the really experienced players, and like I was helping out a bunch of like new players, and that's why I was kind of stuck in one place. I thought the safe zone would protect us. It turns out, yeah, maybe not. So what I'm going to do with my safe zone now is I'm going to have it so that there is no one allowed in except for me. And that way, yeah, I'm not going to end up with somebody being up, like someone else who may be an infiltrator from in the faction working with him to try and steal it. So try to keep the grid safe, like while I'm offline. Anyway, I'm trying to think of too many different things at the same time. I want a safe zone. It works better if you can spell. Okay, that's why I messed it up last time. Well, that's a pain. I guess I'll chuck it here. So yeah, when I park it up, I'll convert it to a station and yeah, turn the safe zone on, and it should be safe overnight or what have you, or 25 hours in theory. And I'll go and hide it in an asteroid as well, so it doesn't stick out like dog's balls. So, but in theory, like nobody else should be able to get into it if yeah, it's set to only me go into it. And I can't configure the filter or do any of that stuff until I've turned it into a station. So I'm pretty sure I've run out of ice as well, which is a little irritating, but yeah, although off the back here was where I was going to stick the other refineries. I probably should have thought about that a little more carefully, but yeah, it's getting a bit late in the day. Yeah, I know, but like I'm not a grammar Nazi, but like I was raised by one, so like I always try to make sure I do it properly. Change the color, make it all try to blend in as best I can. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff. Like at the moment, I'm just using a basic cockpit there, rather than all the other stuff that I'd normally do. I mean, it was just built up from my version of a survival ship, which is like what the start of the stream was. So, but yeah, do you play the game yourself? Actually, I'm gonna find a place to go jump to. Where I'll put it, 7. I can only get 37% of the distance. Brilliant. I think that's the asteroid that I started at. Anyway, I'm going to chuck the drills on while those are recharging. And chuck more drills on. Oh, no, I didn't give you O2. Sorry, Thomas, forgot about that. You'll have to go mine some ice. The computer that I'm using to play this on is an old IBM 3650 server that I got for $100. And it does it pretty well. And I chucked a video card that I got for about $100. And I think my monitor cost me $30 from Cash Converters. But the server that I got, I had to put a hard drive in it, but it's got like two quad-core Xeon processors in it. It's got 60 gigs of RAM. The only catch is it sounds like a plane taking off in summer. So, but yeah, I mean, you don't. Well, I don't know. It depends on how much you're willing to compromise with some things. It's like the video card I got in here is Radeon 570 something or other. Can't remember which one it is, but it's not the best video card, but it's good enough. But that being said, like, yeah, like if I was I couldn't run this on a laptop, I don't think, or on the laptop that I got, it's got like a Core i5 in it or something, which is still a quad core, but the video card can't keep up with it. But yeah, I always go cheap with stuff. Like, I'd rather buy like old server gear because it's a lot more robust as long as it works. As far as desktop stuff goes, like for laptops, I think the laptop I got cost me a few $100s, so second hand. Just researched it and checked the specs I wanted and all the rest of that sort of shit, and made sure all the keys worked. Yeah, so I got all my drills now. I was going to go to the ice asteroid, I think. Jump drives are still charging. Have you played the game before? Waiting, so I think I left my helmet open for some silly reason. Oh, I want to stick those yield modules on. Yeah, well, first time I played this game was in early access. I don't even know how much, or even if I paid for it. I might have got it as a beta or something like that, way back. But like I've since like bought all the DLC for it. But yeah, like in early access, like I saw a lot of potential in it, but like I just never got back to it. Life got in the way at the time, so but yeah, the game is a far cry from now. Like it's come an incredible way since it was like first like made. Yeah, I think the game's awesome myself. So, I mean, everybody's got different opinions as to what they like to do. Like, the PvP stuff's pretty crazy. Like, since they added all the weapons and stuff like that, it significantly changed the game. So, but yeah, I got to give props to Keen. What they've turned the game into over the last 10 years is crazy. Or actually, it's more than 10 years. I think 2012 or 2013 is when I got it. Oh, and also the other thing that is like pretty mental is how all the textures have been updated, the modeling and all that stuff. And the other thing that's crazy is the mod community. I think that's mental how much effort that the modders have put into it. So I keep that. I probably should have done that a little differently. I'll make it sort of like a stingray shape, I think. Right, so it's a little bit wider at the front. All the guns and shit like that out the front. I'll also put guns out the side and also at the bottom, like Gatling turrets out the bottom. Maybe a big gun as well. This is what I'm thinking, at least anyway. And if I move this thruster out to the side, and I'll probably end up chucking a couple more out to the side. Maybe to do 2 rows of hydrogen tanks out here to extend it out. That way it adds redundancy, as well as, like, you know, if I make it heavier, which putting heavy armor on, it's going to have enough power to move it around. So, I mean, maneuverability is, like, yeah, pretty important, especially like when people are trying to attack you with a grinder. But yeah, I started doing these videos to try and, well, you know, to try and contribute to the community, but also because a lot of people were asking me the same sorts of questions. I mean, I started this faction on this server way back, like probably a year ago, or not quite. Actually, no, it wasn't a year ago. That's it was probably about 3 or 4 months ago when I started up on this server. Started the faction to help out new players, and they were all asking me the same questions. So I thought, I'll just start doing videos of it, show people how to actually do it. So yeah, we got the Discord going with it. So okay, gonna add yield modules to it now. Like, I'm more of a function builder rather than an aesthetic builder, so it's probably going to come out and looking like a giant flying toaster with a tail on it. Seems to be my specialty. Like the last the gunship that I'd made before, it looked like a flying toaster. It was pretty funny. I hadn't actually finished it because I got distracted with helping out some new players, so like, I kind of put that on hold. I kind of run out of creative, you know, like writer's block or something like that. It's like, oh, where do I go now? So it's like, yeah, I think it's a good. Well, that's it. It's got to work first, and like I was telling CR Jace or CRJ Ace, whatever his name is, I showed him that as well when he was in the faction. I said, look, you want to make sure it works first, because he started building this massive, it ended up looking like a giant freaking tombstone, or an ironing board is actually probably a closer analogy to it. And it was all just like mountains of steel plate. And I was like, when are you actually going to get to building parts? And he starts trying to lay the parts inside of a box, and it's like, you're going to struggle, man. Like, you can't, like, trying to build a box and then fit everything inside it is much harder than build everything that makes it work and then put all the stuff around the outside. That's what really helps with trying to make something functional. So the only problem with doing it that way is aesthetics are second, so it ends up looking like a giant flying toaster. So, but it's a trade-off. I'd rather have something that works well rather than something that necessarily looks amazing and then gets like it doesn't work or it's not piped up correctly or who knows what else. So what was I making? Yield modules. So probably need like 20 or 30 of them. But the other thing about everything that I say as far as all this stuff goes is it is an opinion, and it's everybody's got a different sort of opinion as to what works for them. This is just the only thing that I can really demonstrate. Yeah, the internal, they do work to a degree, but at the same time, rather than like, I'll probably put them in the ship, but still try to seal it up as well. Like, a few people have suggested it, and we have tried it in the past. But ultimately, going against suits, like, if you leave a ship unguarded on a PvP server and someone finds it, if they want it, they can get it eventually. I've seen some other guides, like I think there's a YouTuber called Luca the Guide. He's got a couple of interesting ideas as far as PvP stuff goes, as well as an anti-theft device. I had a look at that today, so I thought, well, I don't really know how to PvP that well, so and yeah, that was like his guide that I saw. But yeah, everything about it is subjective. Like, everyone's going to have a different opinion as to what works better and all the rest of that stuff. And it's like, I'm not right or wrong or anything like that. It's more that I just do what works for me. Well, that's it. All you're doing is really buying time. Like, if you are going into a battle situation or you may be coming across suits, and the interior turrets are pretty good for like taking out someone who's trying to gank your ship. The problem with them though is, like, the biggest problem with interior turrets is you have to manually reload them, and that takes an eternity to do. That's why I prefer the Gatling guns. But that being said, I made a ship just for killing like suits coming at me with grinders, and it did a pretty good job against like that guy. Like, we had a good laugh about it. Like, he was also on this server and he was ganking noobs, and so I thought, oh, he actually tried to grind down my ship and took out Marty's ship. He's like, I've done a bunch of streams with him as well, and yeah, when they took out his ship, like, yeah, they took out one of his hydrogen, or they took out his hydrogen tank, and that just left his ship dead in the water. Like, he still had hydrogen thrusters, but the ion thrusters, but they were very ineffective, and he couldn't get away, and he pretty much lost the ship. So he's like, nah, this sucks, we're gonna go on the warpath sort of thing. So yeah, I built the gunship. I nicknamed it the Suit Killer. And yeah, I think I had 6 interior turrets, 3 Gatling guns, and a couple of missile launchers on it. And it worked really well, like, against suits, but it was pretty crap against ships because it was still only lightly armored. But it was extremely maneuverable. So I think I shot him. His name was Malcolm. I shot him twice when he was coming at me. I killed his ship because he came at me with his ship, and then I shot him again. Oh, actually no, I body slammed him, I think, after I'd killed his ship because he bailed out of his ship, and then yeah, because I was like trying to stop him from being able to inertial damp to the ship. Yeah, I was like jinking around all over the place, quite erratically, to try and prevent him from actually being able to grind the ship down, and yeah, just dunk and topped him. So, but yeah, going up against another ship, I don't think, like, a decent PvP ship, that thing wouldn't do very well at all. unless of course like there was something else to soak up the bullets, like, or it was used as a support, like fly in quickly, strike, and then fly out sort of thing. But yeah, the goal for right now is I'm just gonna go and mine some ice, fill up the ice, and because yeah, it's getting a bit late. It's been a pretty long day. I spent a lot of time on it today, so. And then go and find an asteroid to hide in or something like that. Just park up, chuck the safe zone on, and see if anybody tries to steal it. And check out this rock while I'm here though. It's got a wait time anyway for it. I suppose I can fill it up with stone and let it process that. I've got a fair bit in the ship at the moment, so but yeah, I'm gonna take those. How many more did I add? I added 3 refineries to the back there, so I'll put I'll move the assemblers to the back as well, so that way they're not going to end up on the front of the ship, and I'll armor that up. At the moment, that's all light armor around there, so just to see how it looks, because trying to grind down the heavy armor when you're trying to design something or work something out, it can be a bit of a nightmare. I mean, I could go and set it all up in creative mode, but it doesn't really work that well for me. Like, I can't really think of ways to do it in creative mode. Like, it's got to have a purpose, and the purpose comes from in the game, like, if that makes sense. But that's just the way my head works. I know a lot of people that go and make some really extraordinary designs in creative and then print them out, print the blueprints out here. I might be able to do that one day. I mean, I've printed out blueprints before. It's just the initial design, it's a bit of a pain. Kinda need to see it working and figure it out from there. You sound like you've spent a fair amount of time in the game with the things, the comments. Or you've watched a lot of videos. There is a lot of good content around this game. Like, I wouldn't say mine, that's for sure. Mine's quite vulgar a lot of the time. Like, yeah. Like, Splitsy's videos, I think like, some of them are really, like, funny. Like, the dynamic between him and Capac is very entertaining. Like, I can't rate it high enough as far as content about this game goes. Like, and his tutorials are very good as well. It's a lot more radio friendly than I am. I have a hard time stopping the colloquialisms coming out. But, you know, like, after a few hours, ADHD kicks in and I just start ranting about whatever. Or if I'm chatting with somebody else, we'll just talk about whatever. But what I wouldn't mind doing is, yeah, getting a good crew of people together and really going at Mercy hard. Mercy's the player who's the problematic one. Yeah, I'm just trying to... see how Jace is still trying to say, friend me. Oops, not that one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to crash soon. I'm starting to make silly mistakes, press the wrong keys. I've got this one configured differently, which is a bit frustrating. It's like getting the configuration of the toolbar on your ship. You end up doing stuff with muscle memory in that, and if you get them around the wrong way, or at least if I get them around the wrong way, I end up botching it. Forget to turn off the thrusters or accidentally turn off the wrong thrusters. I don't know, I should probably be a little more particular with how I set these things up, but I don't ever have a definite plan, so it's like, oh, I want this to do this, so I set it up a particular way and then never get around to changing it later because, I don't know, tediousness. Unknown Empire helped me out yesterday. He went and picked up a faction member that got stranded for me because I didn't have jump drives. So I gave him a couple of oh, I don't know how to spell lying. Was it Nietzsche said to have a meaningful life is to be an authentic person, to be true to yourself, so that way at the end of your life you will regret nothing, and every decision that you've made you know will be the right thing. At least that's the concept of what I understood of what he wrote. But that being said, Nietzsche was a little bit nuts. So, but he did write some pretty profound things. So, but yeah, I just don't lie to people ever. It's not something that's in me, which is depressing because everyone, like I piss people off quite frequently because I'm blunt and honest all the time. So if someone asks me what I think, I tell them what they think, and then it hurts their feelings, and then oh god, everything goes to fucking shit. Um, it's probably more like 80 to 90%. Anyway, I think we're going to be able to jump soon again. Probably shouldn't fill too much on rocks. The other thing as well, like, it makes it hard to do the stream and think of different ideas because I kind of get in the zone and stop talking when I'm just doing stuff like that, and it's also really hard to keep an eye on the chat. I really wouldn't mind if Mercy, or mind knowing if Mercy is using an exploit because he logs on and off all the time. I'm suspecting he might be. But I couldn't say for certain though. And one of the admins was on earlier on to help someone out who got their ship stuck or jammed up or something like that. Apparently they'd be watching him. It would be entertaining as hell because he's been flying around smashing everyone. Is there anything in that? Yeah, I do have an ore detector on. It's just a weird colour. Anyway, jump. 7. Hey, we're gonna get there. is nice big ice rock. So yeah, I'm going to fill it up with ice. Hopefully next time I log back on, sometime tomorrow, it will all be full. Like the hydrogen tanks at least anyway. So running out is tedious as all hell. Yeah, think about what to do with the build, different approaches. I might try the interior turret idea, give that a crack. I don't think it'll cause me too much grief. The other thing that I just need to make sure that happens is like the hydrogen tanks explode now and they can annihilate your ship when you get shot. But yeah, if I'm going to go looking for someone who seems to be very good at PvP, I want to make sure that I'm as well prepared as I can be, so that I don't die in the first 5 seconds. Oh, that's the main goal, because I'm not expecting to survive for too long, and I'm definitely not expecting to win. So that's just being realistic. I'm not that experienced at PvP, and Mercy seems like he is very experienced at PvP. Every time I've tried to grind something down, like a what do you call it, an NPC on some of the other servers, I just get annihilated every time. So, but I have gone against him with a grinder before when he was attacking the base. Like, the only thing I had was a grinder, so I equipped it and thought, oh, I'm gonna try and grind him down. He shot me with my own rocket launcher, I'd say. As soon as I logged back in, it's like, you bastard. How did you get into the safe zone? So I was shocked as shit, because yeah, the safe zone, when I left it was up and it was running. There was 25 zone chips in it, and there was a nuclear reactor with like somewhere in the vicinity of 5,000 ingots of uranium. So I don't know how he got in. He reckons he had someone turn it off for him. But a couple of other people have said that there are ways to exploit the safe zone. So that's why I'm going to set the safe zone up now when I go on park up, to not allow anyone else through, whether it's the faction or otherwise. Just me. No, I don't think he's a hacker. Like, because the admins would have detected it and booted him. I think he's just either really good or he did manage to get someone into the faction. So that's the other thing that I'm gonna test out. There's ways of finding this stuff out. Like, watched a lot of videos on counterintelligence and penetration testing and all that sort of stuff over the years, and employ some of those techniques. Also psychology. See if I can figure out who the infiltrator may be. Set some tests, so to say. Not necessarily traps. But that being said, you know, if he ends up watching the stream, he's going to know what I'm talking about. So, and he's pretty smart. Like, he actually asked me today in the chat if I was trying to Art of War him. And I was like, I'm definitely dealing with somebody who's smarter than your average bear. You know, I respect a good opponent, even if he might be being a bit of a dick, like you know, ruining the game for new players and stuff like that. He's good at what he does. You got to give him props, because he finds people very, very effectively. Like, I went and showed who was it? Thomas. His name's Eager Thomas or High Gaming. It's both the same kid in this, I went and showed him, like he was watching the YouTube stream, and I showed him how I found his base. Maybe. Well, there was a few different ways I was thinking about going about it. I mean, you can't do programmable blocks on this server. So, I couldn't write a script or something like that. Not that I would be able to write a script very well to save my life anyway. I haven't coded in C hash ever, and C++ is very limited for me, which is more or less the same thing, but like it's just different libraries and encompasses different things, or some, I don't know, depends on who you talk to. It's a very weird community when it comes to those sorts of things sometimes. Like, I'm indifferent to it, I don't care. Like, I don't care what language anyone uses as far as that goes, or anything for that matter, but whatever works best for whoever. But I was thinking of maybe using a timer block and some sensors or something like that. So, like, if they come within a certain proximity, it triggers a sensor, and then yeets them out of the safe zone, or you enables the safe zone. But there's a bunch of other things that people have done where they've like buried safe zones. Some people have told me some stories about some of the things that they've done with like the voxels in this game refresh if you're more than a certain distance from them after a certain amount of time. So I think what he did was he went and dug a very, very deep hole into a planet somewhere, and the voxels refreshed like at a certain range if you don't put any grids down or anything like that. And then he put a whole bunch of turrets around a, what do you call it, a survival kit, and had it so that it was available to the entire server, so anybody could spawn in there, like, and yeah, got annihilated, and it was just a bad time for them. I mean, if you really want to secure a base, you drill halfway down to the center of the planet and make sure all the voxels clean themselves up on the top, and you can use med bays, or what do you call them, survival kits, as different spawn locations and stuff like that. But you know, you can't get your stuff out then. And it's still not perfect. I mean, you could still drill down there with a hand drill if you're really motivated enough. Like, but people will come up with all sorts of crazy ideas. Like, one of the big limitations on this server is the PCU limit. Like, and that's the other thing that kind of restricts the build. So I've only got 5 drills on here. That's one of the limits, is you can have 5 of each of the block tools. And there's also a 20,000 PCU limit. Which, you know, I go on about quite a bit, and it really makes you think very carefully about how you build it. Like, you can only put a certain amount of guns on, and that's why, like, you have to be economical with the gun placement. If you put too many of a particular type of gun on there, like if I was to cover it with interior turrets, they're going to use up all my PCU. So, like, if you have a look, like, if you jump out and go through, it's like, buggered up the keyboard. There we go. Okay, so if you have a look there, the Gatling turret is 225, the interior turret's 125, the assault cannon's 275, the artillery turret's 275. So, like, you know, I've got 2 artillery cannons here, I've got the 2 big railguns there, and I've got 2 turrets on the outside, 2 Gatling turrets on the outside here. And as long as I'm paying attention, like, they'll do a reasonable job of fending off against most things. Like, these have got an 800 meter range, and these are automatic like tracking, so they will automatically target an enemy, and they've got a 2k range. And the railguns, they got a 2k range as well, but they pack quite a punch. It's just they're very, very slow. But yeah, they'll apple core a ship. So I don't know if you've seen them used, but yeah, you can make a pretty wicked mess. And I was going to stick a couple of like the big artillery turrets in here, and the fixed artillery cannons as well, so I can switch between the railguns and the artillery. I put like 2 on each side, so there'd be 4 there. So that way, if I do come across a ship that's going to cause me grief, well, they're good up to 800 meters, but if someone's coming at you with artillery, or even, what is it, the assault cannon has only got a range of, or it's got a range of 1200 meters, so someone could take you out before your Gatlings are in range. Like, missiles have a range of 800 meters, so, you know, and also the missile turrets, like, I don't rate the missiles very high at all. They're good for targeting suits that are on the ground or something like that, like, or handheld rocket launchers against suits. That's another good way. Like, if you've got someone else to fly your ship, and you've got someone, or you're flying your ship, you've got someone inside running around your ship taking out the suits or the boarders with a handheld rocket launcher is a pretty good defensive strategy. I've been told, at least anyway. I've never employed it. Although Marty did go down one time when he was going up against, was it Malcolm Muntbull and Earthican? There's a couple of players on this server who were raiding a base. Marty went down to help out the people on the base with a handheld rocket launcher and nuked them. So annihilated both of them with the splash damage from the rocket launcher, and that was really effective. And yeah, if they're running around on the surface trying to raid the base or grind it down, you can fire missiles at it. It won't necessarily destroy the base. Like, it'll damage the grids, but it won't necessarily destroy it. But it will take out the people in suits running around. And also they annihilate small grids pretty good, so... Yeah, the other thing you can do if you want to stuff around with it is decoys, but again, with things like that, like the decoys, they take up a fair amount of PCU. So that's why in this server I don't use them much at all. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it in the... where is it? Like, because everything is about trying to be economical with PCU. Oh, they're only 50, so... But, yeah, once they're hit, you know, you got to use them with the welder, and the welders, you've only got 5 of them that you can use at any one time, so... And that's across all your grids, not just on a single one. But, you know, these are just the things that I've experienced with it. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm right. I've got fuck all PvP experience, so I'm still learning. That being said, you know, I'm always trying to learn. But yeah, and that's the other reason why I want to always make sure the ship is very maneuverable. Like, I can change direction very fast, and I can burn fuel for a long time. I always make sure I've got a hell of a lot of fuel. And like, I've got a really long burn time at full stick, so I can be constantly changing directions. Missiles can't get me, and the Gatling turrets can take them out before they get too close. So it is a bit hard with going, like, yeah, again, suits, but handhelds don't really do too good against large grid stuff. So but there is a lot of interesting challenges with it. I don't know, I probably am going to put a lot of Gatling guns around the outside. Like, I don't even know what I'm up to with the PCU so far. Okay, well there you go. I've got 12,000 PCU left, so that's a lot of stuff I can build. But But again, I don't have any armor yet. I've got fuck all guns on here. I'm probably going to want to put another nuclear reactor on here as well, or maybe two. I like two more large ones. Because yeah, you never want to run out of power. I want to put bigger ion thrusters on it, and take those ones off. The remnants of the start. I wish I had seen that video that I watched today earlier on. That I can't remember the name of the guy. I don't think I looked at it, but yeah, he did like half an hour. He had a survival pod, a respawn pod, with a drill on it that was like a functional base starter ship, and also he showed how to make it so that it can despawn when you log out. And apparently, was it Xenoflint tried it, and he says it worked. So, because I suggested it to him, told him how to do it, and yeah, that would have saved me a lot of time yesterday. Instead of taking 2.5 hours to build a ship, it would have taken me like half an hour to get away from having to hand drill anything, which is always tedious. So I might do that one day, is start from a respawn pod and give that a go, see how quickly I can do it. But yeah, at the moment the mission is wipe out Mercy if I can. I know how much of my stuff he stole, and he's stolen a lot of stuff from a lot of people, and if he's got that all stashed somewhere, it would be hard to wipe him out. Anyway, how much ice have I got? I don't know how much longer. Drills are full. They've probably been full for a while. Not really paying enough attention to it. Alright. I'm gonna move away from here. See if I can find a rock with a hole in it. Chuck a landing gear on. Yeah, now it's taken an eternity to start moving. But that's fine. The reason why I want to move away from where I am at the moment is yeah, if someone's paying attention to where I am or are going to go and chase respawn points, I want to give them a larger search radius. At least that's a theory. Whether or not it works, totally different story. Do I still have those zone chips? I think I do. Oh no. Oh yeah, there they are. That's all good. Thought they were on me when I got logged out before. Might have to watch more, some more PvP videos. Try to get a better idea as to the best way to combat it. Or do a build. Have a look at a bunch of different sized builds and stuff. Yeah, but like if I just pick a random direction and jump to it, like just do a blind jump, like anybody could find anyone. I'm not really too phased about it. Like if someone's gonna go to that much trouble to smash the ship, then yeah, they're kind of going beyond the spirit of the game, like in my opinion. Like, power to them if they really want to put that much work in. It just gives me a different challenge, you know. I just think it's, like, I think it's thoroughly entertaining. It would be hard to triangulate, though. There's a lot of maths involved. I'm not saying it's impossible by any stretch of the imagination, but that's why I got the safe zone as well. I want to see if I can actually just make good use of that. All I really want to do is just make it harder to be found. Like those strong unknown signals, they're the ones that like really hammer you. Anyway, I'm going to turn off all of those because they're starting to bug me. Also turn off the distances of where I am to stuff. Don't really need that anymore. Actually, I think it might have been that one. Might be worth going to. I'll jump over there. I think there was a massive asteroid with a hole in it over there. Just get rid of all references to distance. But yeah, realistically, anyone can find anyone who's logged on, if they're motivated enough. Jump drive. But yeah, like if I set the safe zone so it excludes everyone else, if somehow someone manages to spawn at my survival kit, they are not going to have much fun with it, because it'll just yeet them straight out of the safe zone in the middle of freaking nowhere. So at least it's the theory. Whether or not that's how it practically works, I don't know. Yeah, well, that's what the theory is. Like that strong unknown signal thing, I probably should have turned that off, but I'm not really too phased. I just jump to a random spot I've got a GPS for. Been here before, but unless somebody else has gone to the trouble of GPS marking it while they were chasing me. all about probabilities of success or failure. And I think the likelihood of me getting ganked from this particular spot, quite small. I mean, I could be wrong, like I often am, but I've got to give him half a chance, I suppose. Whoop, nearly barbecued myself again. The other thing I'll do is I'll load up. Oh, I don't need to have it big this time either. Well, I'm going to have a big orb around it anyway. Actually, I might try to put it between those rocks. I'm going to try to make the safe zone as small as possible as well. Oh, great, there's an unknown signal. I'm going to move. Not gonna stay here because that's just giving away my location. Poxy thing. That's really annoying. How long is left on the jump drives? 3 minutes. 2 minutes on that one. Well, I doubt someone's going to jump in the meantime. Actually, there's no point in trying to mine any more stone because it's already full, isn't it? Or close to it. Oh no, the drills could take some. So you can fill it up with rocks while I'm waiting. Like those refineries I've got there, those 3 on the port side there, they're all only processing stone. Because it gets annoying when you run out of stuff that you get from stone because like you're processing cobalt or something. It's like, why can't I make any steel plates? I imagine that this is how Leela flies. It's like no depth perception. Hey, I found a really good asteroid that was hollowed out. That's where I parked it last night. I should have marked it, but I didn't think I was going to go back there. And I was like, oh. Alright, jump drive's charged now, so 7. Oh, come on. The other ones say they're charged. But yeah, if I had to put it in that asteroid right in the middle of it, you wouldn't have been able to see the safe zone bubble from the outside of it. And this ship would fit in there easily because this thing was huge. Like, I doubt it is at this location though, but if I find one later on it's like that, I might use it as like parking spot. Though I may have to be a sneaky bastard and go and park up in a place like that without anybody seeing it, like in the stream prior to it. So well, gotta be able to get to it though. Like, there's lots of them around though. There's no shortage of asteroids. Like that one over there looks like it's got a hole in it. That one over there looks like it's been like smashed by a railgun. That could be one as well that has a hole in it. I think I'll go for that one. It's further away, so nah, it's all probabilities. I don't think anyone's gonna find me. I mean, would you be able to find me if you were that motivated? Like, do you reckon you'd be able to find me in the 6 to 8 hours that I'd be offline for? Or however long it may be. It's an interesting question. I don't reckon I could. I think it would take me longer to figure out where they were and go and try and chase them down and all that sort of stuff, and I'd have to have some sort of reference point that they were at before. But, you know, this could be a learning experience for me. It's an experiment. That's what I'm going to do it as. Because, you know, not that many people have been watching the stream. And if anybody who is going after me on this server is watching the stream, I'd be interested to see if they're that good, because then that also lets me know how much of a challenge it's going to be going up against these guys. It's like, if they're good enough, if they're good enough to be able to work that out, then, you know, I don't, like, I could conceptually do it, but actually going through and trying to do it within the amount of time that there would have to be, and you know, I could log it back on at any time. They don't know how long I've got, you know, like sometimes I don't sleep, so I might wake up and just jump back on and go and do something else, or I'll get an idea or what have you. So, you know, I might sometimes, yeah, if I can't sleep, I'll jump back on the game, so it might be a couple of hours or whatever. That'd be nowhere near enough time to try and work it out, I don't think. With that being said, the map's static, so... But you couldn't look at an asteroid and think, oh, I've seen that particular asteroid before. Well, you could, but... What's the chances? I mean, shit, that's... I have a better chance of pulling the Powerball number out of my ass, like, 3 times in a row. In my opinion. But if I kept going back to the same spot, that just gives them more time to figure it out. So even if they get a rough vicinity of where I am, they've still got to find me, and that can be a challenge in and of itself. That's why I rate Mercy as quite a good player, is because he manages to find you very well from the unknown signals. So I've jumped like a couple hundred k's away from that unknown signal, so if anybody does have my location, they've got to cover a search sphere of that much, which is crazy. Like, this is the silver spot, I think. It's not slowing down. The other thing as well is, like, parking in the shadows doesn't necessarily work because the sun moves. Or just pick a random spot every time. That's the other alternative. It's like just do a blind jump out to wherever. The only reason why I picked the GPS spot was because there was the off chance that I might have a come across that asteroid that I saw before, but yeah, because I filled it all the way up with that much freaking ice. There's ice there. So that will be handy when I log back in anyway. So, whoops, that jumped out at me. Yeah, I could leave it here just parked and rely on the camouflage, and it may do a good enough job to avoid being detected, but it'll be powered, so it'll kind of stick out that way as well. It'll show a big red circle around it if you got within a couple of k's of it, or a kilometre of it, I think. Hey, is that a... Oh, it's a bit too small to get into. Maybe. Oops. Yeah, but the shadows move. That's the problem. Like, the sun moves in the game, not these things. So, you know, this might be fine now, but unless you manage to find the north or south pole of it, which bugger if I know which one that is. And back sticking out a long way. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it in. Yeah, it's not going to fit in there, I don't think. Nah, it's not going to work. Yeah, it's all modeled and shit, so... Oh well, I gave it a try. Ah! Hey, sometimes there's never a truer word said that is not said in jest. Like some of the greatest truth tellers like on the planet are comedians. Actually, the biggest truth tellers on the planet are comedians with fuck you money. Man, I'd love to have fuck you money. That'd be funny as hell. I'd go to town with... I'd have an absolute ball. It'd create nothing but mischief. I'd probably be in the news every couple of days just winding up the police or whatever because I could afford lawyers because I'd have fuck you money. Get them back for fucking mischief they've caused me in my life. What the hell's going on now? Yeah, I think I'll just put it right. See, no matter how well I try and bury it at the moment, sitting on the outside of a rock like this is still going to stick out because the safe zone thing, so... Driving it like I used to drive forklifts. It's like you squeeze it in there, it'll be fine. Every forklift I've ever driven was already scuffed up along the back. You do what you gotta do to get the job done. And it's sort of obscured by rocks and stuff. Like, it's not perfect, but I think it'll do. But anyway, I'm going to jump in the cryopod before I start messing around with the safe zone because I don't want to accidentally yeet myself out. Safe. Oh, actually, before I do that, I want to convert to station. Now in the control panel, I can go into the safe zone. And let's adjust. We enable the safe zone and configure the filter. List of players. Okay, so only me is allowed in the safe zone. I'm on the white list. So hopefully this works. Set the range. Oh no, need to see from the outside. small as possible. Do not allow damage. Don't allow shooting. No, don't allow damage. No drilling, welding, grinding, building. No projectors. No voxel hands. But I'll allow shooting so that way if anybody comes nearby they're going to get shot. Can I make this like black? Hey. Make it like a grey sort of colour. Nah, just leave it dark. Texture and default. Alright. So I need to put zone chips in it. There are the zone chips. Pod. Safe zone. Alright. Yeah, so we've got like 85 seconds till it turns on. And it should last 25 or 24 hours. 25 hours because which more than enough time. No worries. If you get the game, yeah, jump on with us. Or if you get your computer going again, it'll be fun. Thought I had more than that. Yep, catch you later. Looks like from the outside. Am I gonna get yeeted? I'll find out tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see what happens next time.